Show presents Scratch a Track,
the podcast where we debate which track to scratch off some of the most known and unknown albums of all time.
We live in an era of singles.
This is an album.
People no longer listen to an album for the work it truly is.
It kind of defines a band.
It's just not something that people relate to nowadays.
We've all gotten the dreaded.
It started out as a game.
Which track on the album would you scratch out if you had to? Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Scratch a Track presented by the Dude and Grim Show. I am the Dude, and with me, as always, is Grim. How we doing there, Mr. Grim?
Doing well, Duder. Little more technologically sound, I think, this run through than last one. So it's I already feel better about the start.
You got to start somewhere. I mean, our headphones are working. I can hear you.
Yeah,
it's an important part of the process.
Yeah, so I'd say pretty okay.
All right. Yeah, I know. I got me a Truly hard seltzer, blueberry and acai. This is not sponsored by Truly, by the way.
All right.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, I already did.
Well, so we're about to get into an episode. I think this might actually, or an album. I think this might be the most, I guess, current album we've done to date. Wouldn't that be fair?
I think that is fair. Released in 2007.
Ooh.
So definitely, and that would be The Sound of Silver by LCD Soundsystem.
Yes. And I will start off by saying I must fully admit that I have not. I've known about LCD Soundsystem. I've heard of. I think I've been to festivals where they've played.
Dude, you and I were both at a Lollapalooza where they were playing.
Okay,
and honestly, thinking back, I'm really pissed that I did not see that show. Like I would have I didn't know about it. It wasn't really until I met my wife, Lisa, that she got me into them because she was really into LCD Soundsystem. And
cool.
And that's kind of how I found out about it. And apparently it was just insanely popular, and I just kind of missed the boat on that one a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it has to do. I mean, from everything that I've seen, when it came out, it was, and even their first album, when that came out, I think that was nominated for a Grammy. This was nominated, but it kind of falls in the, at least especially for the Grammy, it kind of falls in the electronic dance genre, and I think maybe that's why initially I was kind of maybe turned off to it a little bit, or like, I'm not into that. It's not my thing. So
I could say that too, but having listened to it all as much as I have, I don't think I can see why it gets lumped in that category, but I think it's a lot better. Their stuff is a lot better than most of that, because even like their first album, for example, which was a double disc. I mean, that's kind of going balls out, right? Like your debut album is a double. But I mean, it's more than just like electronic dance music. They go into punk. They go into like kind of some ballads. I mean, I think that all really skilled musicians, and I think James Murphy in his own right is a really good, excellent songwriter, and that's why I feel like sometimes it kind of gets unfairly lumped into those genres, because I don't think of those genres necessarily. I don't equate that with really good songwriting and being able to play a variety of stuff, and hell, for not even playing real instruments for a lot of it. And that's the difference here, is these guys are playing, for the most part, real instruments.
Yeah. And that's a really cool thing. It's not, I mean, there is plenty of synth and samples
and loops and
things,
shit,
and things. Yeah. But yeah, and that's another thing. And I agree with you. It would have been very cool to go see them perform live and just see that music performed live with actual instruments and just how that sounds. It's got to be a really cool setup.
Dude, it is. And again, not having seen them live, I've certainly watched the movie that they made, which the title is now escaping me, but Shut Up and Play the Hits, which is a documentary that they made basically about their breakup. Which I guess the album itself doesn't have what I'd call controversy, but them as a band, I think, kind of does.
Okay.
Because they came in 2002, and I had never heard. I mean, not like I'm some huge aficionado, but had never heard of them, and I don't know that a lot of people had. But they kind of, for lack of a better term, burst on the scene. And were pretty hugely popular right away.
Yeah.
I think partially due to the fact that there wasn't anything else that sounded like it. Again, because it was more than just electronic dance music.
Yeah, and they, again, their first album was nominated for a Grammy, and I believe they actually they lost that to the Chemical Brothers, their album "We Are the Night." So the Chemical Brothers is another band similar to this, though. In that kind of genre, wouldn't you say? I mean, I don't know too much about them as well, but
I would. But having listened to them, to me, it's not even in the same category. I think of the Chemical, and I could be all wrong because again, I haven't given the Chemical Brothers as much of a fair shake as I have LCD Soundsystem, which I've listened to their catalog several times. But going back to it, their live setup is pretty impressive. I mean, holy shit, there's got to be miles of fucking cable. I mean, just miles of cables with all the synths, and I mean, it's a really cool setup. But son of a bitch, if they can't pull it off. And I mean, just syncing up the live real drummer with synth loops and the way they play and hit those grooves and still offer some bit of improvisation, but not getting really too far out of the groove. I can't even describe the amount of discipline that would take as a musician. Because sometimes you just want to just get out and just fucking throw something down, but they hold the groove so well.
Well, I'm wondering, in one of our previous episodes when we talked about Who's Next and them having to play some of their songs live, this is back in the 70s, and they had the tape machine with kind of their setup. Is that kind of similar, would you say? I mean, obviously the technology is a little different now, but there's not really margin of flexibility, maybe, or I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I see what you mean. And I'm sure, it's easier. Just, I mean, hell, the in-ear monitor alone would make it easier, right? But I also think that there's other things that I might not even know about because I've never tried to do this. But I mean, I don't know that there isn't like, hell, if you had a pulsating light. Because all you need is a constant feed of what that BPM is, like your meter. And if you can see, or there's some sort of tactile, there's some way to receive that without necessarily the earphones where you can stick on beat. But man, they just do a hell of a job of it. And like everybody in the band's a multi-instrumentalist pretty much, so they can pick up many different things, and it's really cool.
Yeah, but I find it interesting, and again, I mean, I heard of these guys, and I've known of them, but in 2007, I mean, this album came out, and it was nominated for Grammy, a lot of critical acclaim. Like Rolling Stone and Entertainment Weekly had it ranked 7th best that year, and I'm trying to think what some of the other albums were that year. I think one of them that was ahead of it was Radiohead's In Rainbows.
That's fair.
I think Arcade Fire's Neon Bible.
I think Sound of Silver. Oh yeah. I got a whole list of them now.
Yeah, and then there was I think a Bruce Springsteen album. And
Spoon,
there was a couple,
Ga Ga Ga.
Oh, got.
You know, one that I don't think you'll find listed so much on here, but I believe it was a 2007 album, which we sure as hell are going to cover. But to me, it's the only one that I can think of other than In Rainbows that I would put above it. And that would be We All Belong by Dr. Dog. I believe that was 2007, and I think that is just a wonderful album. But there isn't a whole lot other than those two that I would put above this album. I think it's probably stood the test of time better than a lot of the other ones that were.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There were a few other albums that I remembered, or that when I was just kind of scrolling through the list.
Yeah,
really
I'm sure
quick.
one of them is Bon Jovi's Lost Highway.
Yeah, oh, definitely. There's a Bruce Springsteen album on that one too. I think that was number 2.
I do have to retract a little bit there. Queens of the Stone Age, Era Vulgaris came out that year, and that's pretty fucking awesome too.
Hey man, dude, I like Amy Winehouse. What is it, Fade to Black or Back to Black or whatever it is, that album. I mean, dude, I think it was their only real studio album, but I dug it, man. Big fan.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
boy, 2007 was a pretty good year now that I'm looking. I mean, it's not too bad.
Good shit, man. Good shit. Well, even in 2012, Rolling Stone named it 395 out of 500 greatest albums of all time. Like, that's
actually like saying a lot.
Albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, geez, that's, if I don't know how many other quote unquote electronic dance albums made the top 500, but that's, this is pretty solid if it did.
Oh, sure.
So.
But again, I mean, and I don't mean to keep harping on it, but I think that goes back to them being, him being James Murphy being a really good songwriter and doing more than just, making a freaking techno loop.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think that was really cool about this album is this was even a couple weeks before they released it. They put it up on their MySpace page so you could stream it.
Wow,
dude,
that's a throwback right there.
Right? Like, dude, does MySpace even still exist? I should try to log into my profile.
Boy, I don't know, but I bet you, what was his name? Tom? I bet Tom liked it.
Dude, I'm sure he did, man. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Oh, man.
MySpace, your space, our space.
Yeah.
Well, overall, again, this is an album that is definitely more recent, but man, when I started listening to it, I was like, okay. But then I really started getting into it. And I think overall for me, what I like about it is just the feel of the album as a whole.
Yep.
We could talk about we can talk about the genre, what genre it is.
Sure.
That really doesn't matter. But some of the songs on here are definitely on the longer side. There's 6, 7, I think even 8-minute songs. And I know we've done albums with Won't Get Fooled Again is 8-minute song and stuff like that. But that's one song. These are consistently, exactly. And the thing with these though is, at least for me, I found I didn't even notice they were that long because they get in such a groove, you just kind of keep going. And one thing that I will say is I found this a great album to drive to. If you're on the highway, just because just driving down the highway after a while, I can get a little monotonous. But man, it just felt really good just to put it on and drive and just go, man. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely, anybody who hasn't heard it, at least for me. And maybe that's how, the first couple of times I listened to it, that's the circumstances I listened to it under. But I just thought it really fit well for that. I think also if, you're in New York and you're having a big Coke party or something, you can put it on under those circumstances too. So, you have options.
Yeah.
It just depends. Whatever you're into.
Good
some people
for
like
running.
Coke, some people like to drive.
Hell,
don't do them both at the same time.
We were playing tennis to this the other day.
Oh, yeah. Nice, dude. Yeah, that's cool, man. We're wearing a mask though, right?
All right. Oh no, man.
No, man. All right. So I don't know if that covers our little intro part. One thing, dude. Yeah. So I mean, just talking about the recording of it a little bit. He did it in Massachusetts, and I have I don't know if this is a technical question or not, but I would like you to speak to it. So apparently, he covered the whole studio in silver fabric and tinfoil.
Yep.
And I'm just curious. Do you think that was just for aesthetic purposes? Because the name of the album is Sound of Silver. Or do you think that had an actual effect on the sound?
I don't think it had an effect on the sound.
No, I don't know, man.
But it's weird because the right before that, the thing you'll read is that he was really uncomfortable recording his own vocals. And the only thing I can think of is that maybe that extra bit of just weirdness kind of got him out of his own headspace a little bit.
I could see that. Yeah, like he felt like he wasn't in the studio anymore. Or
he
made it his own.
Yeah. Yeah, but that is.
I mean, it says
that is an interesting tidbit about it, and I think that I mean I don't know, but God, that has to be the defining contributor to the title.
Dude, it's pretty great, right?
Yeah.
Well, they said that what did it say here? The album was dedicated to a guy, in the memory of George Kamen. He was one of the great minds of his or any generation. Now, dude, that is one hell of a compliment, because it's one thing to be a great mind of your generation, but to be considered a great mind of any generation, there's a lot of generations out there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But he was a Bulgarian-born doctor. He was a pioneer of group therapy who had opened a practice in New York City.
Interesting.
So, if you would like to read more about him, just Google Dr. George Kamen.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything else about him.
Oh, but that is interesting.
Yeah. So, are we moving on? What do you think, Grim?
Yeah, I think it's probably time to move on.
All right. Well, I will let you take the honors of introducing the very first track on Sound of Silver by LCD Soundsystem.
Get Innocuous is the first track with an exclamation point, I might add. So I mean, they're not. It's not so much a suggestion as more of a command at that point.
Dude, just do it.
Yeah. But I, again, this is like you said, you don't even realize some of the songs can go for that long. I mean, this song itself is over 7 minutes, but I think the way it just kind of slowly comes in and they do a really good job of building the beat. It can start out with something so simple and then the beat just really builds.
It does. So one thing, dude, and again, I don't want to say anybody stealing anything or ripping anything off, but when I listen to things like this and certain sounds, I'm like, okay, what is, certain things just, perk your ears up a little bit. But that opening beat, listen to that opening beat and then listen to Somewhat Damaged by 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, okay.
And just to me, there are like some similarities there.
Okay.
And that kind of makes, in a weird way, to me, that kind of makes sense because, Trent Reznor's really into, kind of beats and that. I wouldn't say electronic dance, but electronic. I mean, dude, he's into that kind of shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And when you start coming up with beats and rhythms and stuff, certain things can definitely sound alike. Now, I'm not saying they like heard that and took it in or anything, but there was just a part in there that really reminded me of a part in the 9 Inch Nails song Somewhat Damaged.
Interesting.
Now,
is it? I would think it's specifically the beat as opposed to any of the melody or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense because I was going to say I don't hear anything like that in the melody, but yes, sure in the beat.
Oh yeah.
But I it's that's a really good example of just how everything builds, and there's times where they kind of have. In the way he sings, there's a lot of times, not even in this song, but overall, where I'm reminded of like David Byrne and or Talking Heads. And
dude, I have a couple of notes on that where I'm like, I was actually going to say Talking Heads, where it does remind, I'm like, it just has a very 80s feel where it's almost, it sounds, I think the only way I could describe it would be, it almost has like a sterile kind of sound. Like it's just like a stiff, just like I'm standing here kind of like talking, speaking into the microphone, almost sort of robotic in a sense. And it definitely has that feel. And I think I'll get to it as we get into some of our other songs, but some of the sounds and vocals, I think reminded me a little bit of even like Franz Ferdinand and the Killers and stuff. It just kind of has that tone to it.
Sure.
And yeah, so it's interesting you say that, because I had that in my notes here as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this song, it just, like you said, it just really builds up, and there's transitions, but there's nothing overly abrupt. Things kind of drop in and drop out, and then it just kind of flows. So yeah, that was good. It was good. Yeah, I mean, just good opening to a song or to an album.
Yeah, agreed. And then I always like going into Time to Get Away, because to me, Time to Get Away is, although, I mean, sure, it builds like any song would build, but I think it's vastly different in its setup. It's shorter. It's a lot more concise.
It is shorter.
And he's obviously pissed at somebody, whoever is written about.
Yeah. Well, and just kind of how we just said, the lyrics in a lot of the songs have like a Talking Heads or 80s feel. To me, this song doesn't have that. This song, the way he sings it, his lyrics and the way he sings it has kind of like of a herky-jerky kind of thing to it. It's not as the kind of robotic, I guess. It has that. So, and the song's kind of funky. It's got a little funk to it.
Well, I mean, I believe it's the only track on the album with clavinet, and I mean, that is just the goddamn funk machine if there ever was one.
Well, then it makes sense that I'm not that far off. Yeah. So then we get to North American Scum, which was, I believe, the first single off the album, and the first place I had actually heard this song is in the movie Step Brothers. Yeah. It's right in the beginning. Well, kind of right in the beginning, where
after they meet.
Yeah, they meet like in the front yard or whatever, and they're standing right there, and it's just kind of funny because I'd seen that movie a bunch, and I'm like, shit.
And like, you equate
I've heard this song like a bunch of times, because I think there was a time in my life where I was probably watching that movie, or at least falling asleep to it, probably every night for a couple of weeks, if not a couple of months. Because, dude, it's so goddamn funny.
It is
great.
Pretty amazing.
It's great, dude. Like, I mean, so yeah. But as for the song, it has a really good beat and a good groove. The guitar when it comes in, it has some really good fuzz to it too, which I always like that when it just gives it a good feel. But yeah, I like the song, and the way he sings is kind of a little, I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it, but
he's got some scream going.
Yeah.
Almost touching a little bit on what I mentioned before, where they go into a lot of areas other than just dance, because that almost has kind of a bit of a punk or just hard rock bit to it. That song specifically.
And I think kind of the way, and I haven't listened to a ton of punk, but the way he sings a little bit has a real punk tone.
Yeah, sure.
Tone to it. Sure. I like that. Then we go on to track number 4, which is the Someone Great, which is the third single. And I don't want to give anything away about any of my scratches, because I'm not going to do that. But to me, I feel like this is where the album actually starts. Like sometimes I start the album like with this song. I just love it, man. Dude, the intro to me is so hypnotic.
It is. I like that he uses bells on his, like, to I don't want to say double, but melodically with his vocals, he has the bells in there, because everything.
I didn't pick up on that. I'll have to listen to that.
Everything else in the song is like feels really synthesized, like you said, and hypnotic and electronic. But those bells add like this, other than the vocals, obviously, but they add this like touch of humanness to it.
Yeah. Well, what is for me, just as the casual listener, it sounds like it's a bass, but I guess that could be done with a synth too. But dude, it just has like a thick ass bass sound, and I don't know if that's a bass, but it just bounces. Like, to me, it sounds like it's like this thick, like rubber band getting thumped, man.
Oh, sure. I know that. Yeah. And I think those are synthesizer sounds because you have that bass sound that I hear kind of like pulses in the beginning. And then and then you have the boom, boom, boom. And I believe that is from a synth.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's one of those old Roland 303s where it's a bass synthesizer where it's a loop, or if it's just a standard keyed synth and someone's playing it.
Okay.
I don't know that.
I just, when that came in, to me, that just like brought to the next level. I just love that sound. It just sounds so good, man. I just love the way it thumps.
Yeah.
Love the way it thumps. Then we move on to the second single of the album, which is All My Friends. And this one's again it just gets into a groove, and it goes, man. It's got like this kind of basic, almost like chopsticks or something, like the intro, and it just is like, it just pulses and goes. So, and this is one of those songs where I feel like the vocals are very, very 80s, and I was even thinking like, it has a Franz Ferdinand kind of Killers feel to it as well. So
yeah, I can see that. And the album to me, it's not like it. I don't want to say it loses momentum because it certainly doesn't, but there's kind of like a drop in a way of where it's not all like, it gets a little more introspective, I guess. I feel like with these two songs.
Yeah, no. And I think that's why I was like, yeah, these are the two I really gravitate towards. And when I was looking at, the words to this song, it's interesting. It seems like he's telling a story or something about kind of someone who lives, at least what I gathered, and this is just my interpretation. It was somebody who's kind of living the party lifestyle and wasting time, and at the same time trying to like relive and recapture these old times. But everyone else is with like his friends, but everyone else has moved on. And grown up and everything. And it has a very sentimental feel to it, but it was almost like, just from what I gather, it's like someone trying to cling on to the old days and just attempting to relive them. But, the people used to do that with, they're like, dude, I got kids, they're just at a different point in life.
Well, dude, and honestly, if you look at him and when he started this band, I mean, that could have been him. I don't know, but it's very possible. But one line that always stuck with me that I kind of liked from that song is, I wouldn't trade all my bad decisions for another 5 years of life. Like, because they're the shitty 5 years anyways. They're the ones where you're in diapers. I mean, like, but it's a good line. It is a good line.
Sure. I can appreciate that. Then we move on to Us Versus Them, which should not be mistaken or misconstrued as anything being close to Pink Floyd's Us in Them.
No, it's definitely, it's not and. This is different. Versus, like...
Versus. And the thing is, though, dude, in the lyrics, though, towards the end, he does say us and them over and over.
But then again, sometimes they say us v them too.
Versus, yeah.
It's weird.
So, yeah.
And I don't want to give away stuff about it, but when I first started listening to the album, this was the song where I was like, God, just put this shit on repeat. Like, it is so awesome. So awesome. I think it was the one song that, when Lisa would play it a lot, where it was the one song where I was like, okay, I like this band. It isn't just like you're at the time listening to whatever your girlfriend or wife or whatever is listening to. This was the one where I was like, this is really good shit.
Yeah. No, I that's what I was saying. Like, I feel like, I do like the album as a whole, but to me, it's kind of like, there's a peak. And I feel like these kind of middle three songs for me are just really, really good, man. They're really good.
And this is another one where, like, man, you got to get locked into that groove. And they do such a good job. And there's a live I think maybe it's called like the London Sessions. Where they're recording these songs like live in a studio, but I mean, there's like no overdubs or anything. It's like a live performance.
Playing it.
And dude, they just kill it.
Sweet. I'll have to YouTube that later. Moving on to track 7, we got Watch the Tapes. My main takeaway from this is it gets repeated a lot. Read all the pamphlets and watch the tapes.
See, the only thing, I don't know, but the only thing I can relate this to is like every job you ever had in like high school or college where you worked at a store or whatever and you had to, like watch the tape.
Which we did.
Yeah. And it's almost like about like a loser kid or something who can't grow up. Cause what do you say? Like you come for the weekend and you stay for the week. And then you know what I mean? It's like a couch surfer who never got a real job.
Oh man. Yeah. I could definitely see that. Yeah.
And that's why there's just a lot of tapes to watch and pamphlets to watch if you just can't hold down that job.
Dude, Be Kind, Rewind.
Yeah. And,
watch the tapes.
Dude, stay good with your parents because you might need their basement.
Yeah. I mean, after all, we are the depend on your parents generation. So,
dude, are we ever? Shit, I went back.
Yeah. Dude, I have an open invitation. God bless my mom and my dad. Yep. All right, moving on. We got the self-titled track, which is Sound of Silver. And
starts out with those. Sorry.
Minimal. But yeah, I was going to say, there's just go ahead.
It starts out with those vocals that we were talking about that kind of have like that really dry, almost like robotic type of feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like the, makes you want to feel like a teenager until you remember the feelings of a real live emotional teenager. And then you think again and you're like, fuck it.
The good old years.
Yeah.
That were awful. Yeah.
But just
looking back, they were great. Living through them, not so awesome.
Yeah. And that's what he's saying,
Yeah.
But I love the groove on this song and the way the beat comes in and when the bass drops. I mean, it's, another one that as soon as I heard it, I was like, this is a sweet ass song.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, then we bring it up the caboose here, man. Number 9, New York. I love you, but you're bringing me down. And I think this is interesting because I think it's a really good song, but to me, it doesn't fit with the rest of the album. Like I feel like this is
it's a ballad.
It's like an actual, and I hate to say this, but it's like an actual song. Whereas not like the other ones were actual songs, but I feel like everything else could be categorized as like what are they talking about? The electronic dance genre. This is totally, the farthest thing.
It's a ballad that gets a little heavy at the end, dude. If this album had a long and winding road, this is it.
Well then I know what you're gonna scratch. So here's the thing though. So just like I said, I was like, this doesn't fit. To me, I feel like this, in a certain sense, is kind of like it's like the ramshackle, where and so it may not fit on the album, but if you're gonna put it somewhere, putting it right at the end is, I think, where it belongs.
Well, absolutely, and I mean, in that sense, I think it is a really good closer.
Yeah, for some reason, dude, I don't know, I have no basis for thinking this, or anything, but I was listening to this song and for some reason Lou Reed popped into my mind. No idea why. Don't know. But I was just like, it reminds me of Lou Reed. And I couldn't tell you why. So but that's what happened. And that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. Go then.
Well, I'm gone. Go then.
Yeah.
I am.
So, dude, I think the honors are. I was on the tee last time. I think you got below par, and you're the tee is yours this time, duder.
All right. Well, I think I said that to me, I feel like the album really picks up at song 4 with Someone Great. And that's not to say that I don't like North American Scum, that was a single and, is in Step Brothers, and it's a cool song. But the one I would actually scratch off is the one before that, and that's Time to Get Away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's something, it just kind of doesn't do a lot for me. And, I think I described his lyrics sort of as they're kind of herky jerky. At least the way they're saying.
So funky.
I know, but man, it's just. I guess I just want to. It's 4 minutes, and I want to get to, Someone Great and the rest of the album sooner. So I think that's why I would go ahead and scratch that one off. I think it was kind of that. Probably more than, I'd say any of the other ones. I'm trying to think if there was really like a close second, but I think that was probably it. So, okay. Time to Get Away, track 2. How about you?
Well, dude, I kind of did give it away a little bit, but New York, I Love You, But You're Bringing Me Down tends to bring me down a little bit. Again, sure. A good ballad and everything, but I don't know that I would call that as much of the strong point. And sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's because I don't live in a major world city such as New York, but it's like, I don't know, it seems almost a little pretentious, the lyrics.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, man, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, living in New York, it's just got to be a real fucking bitch. Sorry about that.
Dude, the energy, man.
Oh,
it's just,
bro. Yeah.
Well,
but
now we just alienated our whole fucking New York fan base.
No,
so awesome.
Dude, I love it. I'm not actually insulting New York, but
just not for you, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Grocery shopping seems like it'd be tough, but I guess just to me, the whole sentiment, like I guess I have trouble. You got to be more than where you live. To me, if you're not happy where you live, are you going to be happy anywhere? I guess that's. It's not where you are. It's kind of what you are or who you. I don't know. Maybe I'm diving way too deep into it, but I guess in that way, I just felt it was. I always kind of was a little put off by it, and I could easily end the album with The Sound of Silver.
Sound of Silver, which dude, ending an album with a self-titled song wouldn't be the worst thing ever. So
no, especially one like that.
Exactly,
but.
Did it like this, I did it like that. Did it with a wiffle ball bat.
Yeah.
So, I think that wraps up our Sound of Silver. Scratching away. Yeah.
Scratching away, dude.
We did it, man. We did it. Well, that was fun. I think it was, I don't know if I'd say a departure from what we've been doing, but, or some of the albums we've chosen, but.
We know we're each of us are going to end up out of our comfort zone here.
I know. So we'll see what happens next. I don't know if we have anything next, or what we have next, but we got some ideas floating around. On the last episode, we talked about a few, I guess, curveball.
Maybe some bonus episodes. Yeah.
Maybe some bonus episodes. Yep. Can always use a bonus.
Quarantine bonuses.
Yeah. So keep your ears out for that one, people. And this might be on YouTube. We got some video. We'll see if it stitches together, and we can make it fun because got to put the faces to the names. The dude and him. Because it's you.
Yeah.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you listening to another episode. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed talking. So until next time, we'll be back because that's what we do.
Throw us some ideas. Scratch us back.
Scratch a Track is produced by the Dude and Grim. Additional music provided by More. That's .more and the Tims, TIMNZ. Copyright 2020, The Dude and Grim Show.